Can you explain to the audience everything they need to know about Hard on Wax?
Okay, boom. So in short, this is my second body of work under Roc Nation. It's a short EP titled Hard on Wax. Each song is supposed to represent a different emotion of me, kind of like how the phases go with the moon. So we start off with the waxing moon on this, but it's also a double entendre because to put my heart on wax means to put my heart in writing and in the music. So yeah, we're excited, man. We're the whole team. We're super excited.
Now, why the EP route for this project? Because there are some that choose to go longer, like a mixtape or album, for example.
Yeah, so I mean, I dropped 2 mixtapes independently earlier this year, but we doing EPs right now for label reasons. I have one more album with Roc Nation, but we want to extend this, man, and just make it something super epic. They've been really good to me over at Roc Nation. That's my family, so you know, I have no plans on like just departing from them anytime soon. We're gonna drop these EPs and keep it rolling.
Now, you've already shed some light on the title, but just for a little bit further discussion here, was this a title that you came up with or someone coined for you?
Yeah, well, shout out Reno, who's my creative director on this. He definitely coined in. But yeah, I mean, solely, it was my idea, Hard on Wax. We're taking the Rod Sterling route with this EP, and we're having a lot of fun with it, man, for real.
Now, you've already explained the meaning behind it, but just for a little bit more insight on the process itself of the creation of this title, was this a title that was created before the songs were created? Was this something that was done during the process or maybe even after?
Nah, so we had a couple records, because the EP is only 5 songs. They all bangers, no skips. But we had a couple records. We was a couple records into it when we came up with the idea. I just never done like a theme for EP or album before, and we was heavy on that because we wanted to give the audience something that they can like grasp and hold on to. So yeah, we rocking out with this waxing moon phases theme right now. Like it's real dope. It's intuitive. I like it.
Were there any scrap titles for this body of work? Titles that almost this was called?
Yeah, we had a couple, man. You know, to just play on the whole moon thing, New Orleans is the Crescent City. So we was gonna call it like the Crescent City Legend or whatever. Like, you know, my A&Rs had a couple ideas for it, but Hard on Wax really stuck, man, because I mean, it's just that. I'm putting my heart on every song that's on this project. So.
Could the unused title still be used in the future for a project for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Shout out Crescent City, you know, New Orleans. I like that a lot, actually, so we'll see where it goes. But we wanted to start off with the waxing. You know, it mean a lot to me.
Now, are there any unknown facts or stories in regards to this EP that's never been publicly mentioned before? Could be in regards to creating it, recording it, or releasing it.
Well, 2 things. Majority of the records that we did them from scratch, which was something that I had never really done before. But I know the importance of it. You know, when you study producers like Timbaland and stuff like that, like Pharrell, a lot of their biggest hits was made from scratch. So it was something that we didn't just like go in the studio and have beats made and then I just rapped on. Like this was something that was prepared, orchestrated, like, you know, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So we really locked in and just made this something, like it's a movie. And not only that, but one of the records that I got on there is called Too Late. It's about mental health and stuff like that. And it's a true story about, you know, how I almost took my life over a breakup and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's real life.
And when you say from scratch, can you give the audience that isn't too familiar with music creation what that entails?
So, shout out to Scale, shout out 6 Elements, shout out everybody who helped me develop this EP. But when I say from scratch, I mean we sat down in the studio and didn't have no idea where we was going. And, you know, it banter, conversation, you know, we got it together and we put together something from scratch, you know. This kick sound nice, or this hi-hat sound nice, or what we gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying? Rather than, like I said, just going in the studio, getting on beats and rapping.
And picking through a folder of beats already done.
No, this is really special. And I'm really confident about this project. You know, we dropped You're the Problem last year under the label. It did really well. But I'm much more confident about this EP than I am that album.
Because you were more hands-on with the creation of it?
Exactly. Much more hands-on. And it was a lot easier process being hands-on because when you work with so much producers, like I think for the last album, we may have like 10 songs we scrapped just because producers, deals didn't work out or whatever the case may be. But with this one, we locked in with just a couple of guys and we was able to knock it out efficiently.
Now, any other unknown facts or stories in regards to this EP never publicly mentioned before? Any other secrets? Any other Easter eggs?
Yeah, so if y'all are watching the development of this or have watched the development, you'll see that we're imitating the late Rod Sterling, who is the narrator of Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone was a show kind of like Black Mirror for those of y'all who don't know, but it came out in like the 1970s, 1980s. But it was a show that I grew up on watching heavy. I like shows that are like mind fucks, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that it would be a cool idea to kind of pay homage to that show and most importantly, pay homage to Rod Sterling. So rest in peace.
But had no connection to him personally?
No. That would have been dope though, but nah.
And who put you onto that show way back when?
My pops. We don't have the best relationship now, but I never like take away from the fact that he put me on to some ill shit when I was young, and that was one of them.
Now, what's your favorite song on this body of work?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably the Too Late John. I keep saying that just because it evokes the most emotion out of me. You know, it's real. I was really going through a rough time when I made it, so.
And care to share who produced that beat in particular?
Yeah, so shout out Band on the Beat, my guys out of New York. You know, I say this everywhere I go, but New York like my second home. Shout out Joe from YO. Shout out Whole High Bridge. But yeah, I think D-Lo actually produced that. But Band on the Beat, they're a collective of producers. So shout out Diddy, like, you know what we doing, man.
Now, just to dive in a little bit deeper with that song in particular, you mentioned that has something to do with mental health. There was almost a point in your life where you almost took your own life over a relationship.
A couple times, man, for sure.
And you discuss that and share some of that in this song.
Yeah.
But is this something that you still are currently dealing with mentally, or is this something that you've overcome?
Yeah, I mean, it's an everyday battle, man. I suffer from borderline personality disorder. I was diagnosed when I was about 16. I started cutting myself and stuff like that. So it's an everyday battle, you know. Thanks to God, thanks to my team, thanks to my family, I'm doing much better now. You know, we on the road, so I'm focused doing what I got to do. So I'm in a much better headspace now, but it's an everyday struggle.
And dealing with something of this nature, has this been something you sought professional help with?
Yeah. So shout out to my therapist. I told him not too long ago, he actually saved my life. So, you know, if you somebody out there who dealing with something, like, don't think therapy like a pussy way out. You know what I'm saying? These people are, you know, there to listen, there to help you. You know, it's very important. So shout out my therapist.
And how many professionals have you dealt with just dealing with this alone over the years?
Really just one. We started dealing with Music Cares. So shout out to them. They're a really good organization that help artists going through stuff. But I went under, it was like a therapy in my city, like a small therapy that helped me and stuff like that. So yeah, it was mainly them. So yeah.
Now, were you one of those people yourself that was anti-professional help at one point, or were you open to this from the start?
No, I was definitely anti all of it because, like, even when I was cutting myself in school, like, they was forcing me to, they would force me to go to therapists in my school, and I wasn't really messing with it and stuff like that. So it really took for me to be an adult and make, you know, my own decisions. Because I want to be here, man. I want to be here for my family. I want to be here for my fans, my supporters. So it took for me to really sit back and realize the totality of all of this to seek help.
And no features on any of these 5 songs?
No, man, and I'm happy about that, for real, because my fans always asking me about it, you know, and I want to give my fans everything that they ask for, but I also want them to know that I can hold my own, you know, but yeah.
Now, in honor of these 5 songs for this project, can you give the audience 5 reasons to listen to it?
Oh, man, I could give you 100 reasons.
We'll take 100 too.
One of the reasons is because if you're a fan of Never Broke Again and the whole movement, man, then you should definitely support one of their artists. 2, I made this project again, or this EP again, to outsource and speak about things like on that record Too Late, speak about things like suicide. So it's important for you to take a listen, because I try to be there for, you know, my listeners just as much as they there for me, and just shine light on it and let them know that they're not alone. You know, if somebody like me of any type of influence could help you, you know what I'm saying, I want to do that. That's 2. 3, every fucking track on here is ill, from production to lyricism. We took our time, man. Like I said, I'm really confident about it. We took our time and we did this right, and I'm super excited about it. It wasn't rushed, anything like that. So that's 3. 4, we got one of the biggest clearances of the fucking generation on this EP. So shout out Jeezy, shout out Neo. Make sure y'all listen to the project to hear what I'm talking about. And that's 4. So what's 5? 5, it's real, it's me, and it's authentic, man. So if you like RJ, then you're going to like this project. And it's important for you to listen to, because this is a part of my biography. Like, you know, this part of my discography. This is the making of a legend.
Now, some additional questions just came to mind in regards to the mental health song and things of that nature. Was this your first time discussing this topic within your body of music?
In a sense, yeah, because there's been songs where I may have touched on it. I actually have a song called Alone, not the one that's on the EP, but I recorded it with my guys back home. Shout out 7. We recorded it, and it's like, I talk like a bunch of stuff on that record, just about sadness, but we wind up just like leaking it and not even like promoting it or no stuff like that. So as far as like an official record, yeah, this is like my first time really talking about, you know, what I go through having my mental illness.
Was that easy or hard for you to do then? To open up publicly on a song of this nature?
A little bit of both, because I was going through it as I was recording it. So it wasn't nothing to, it was easy for me to have things to talk about. You see what I'm saying? But as far as me actually saying it, like playback was hard, because I get to hear that version of myself. And it's a little bit sad. So it's the best of both worlds. It's a little bit hard to listen to, but the making of it was simple, because I had so much to talk about.
And medically speaking, what age were you when you were diagnosed with this, and what age were you when you were open to professional help?
I was diagnosed when I was 17, so like my sophomore or junior year of high school. I can't really remember it, but I had like a bad outbreak, and it was just really bad, man. They had to rush me to the hospital, and I spent some weeks in Cypress Grove, like West Monroe, Louisiana, and they it was like a, you know, like a psych ward for kids and stuff like that, and that's when they diagnosed me. But it really wasn't until like this year, man, where I'm like, you know, because I never wanted to accept it. Like, who does, right? Like, I didn't want to accept that anything was wrong with me. Like, I want to be normal like everybody else. But, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man. Like, I go through a lot of stuff, and a lot of things that I do to take out my, like, aggression and stuff is, like, not normal. So I had to sit down with myself and be honest. Like, look, this is a problem, and we have to, you know, we have to get through it.
And care to share your current age at this point?
So I'm at, damn. I'm 23. Yeah, so I'm turning 24 this year. I start losing count, man, for real. I turned 24 December 31st.
Now, before this interview ends, is there anything else you were not asked fans want to know?
Man, more music on the way, more everything on the way. We going up. All praises due to Allah. Hard on Wax is out right now. We're currently working on 2 more EPs to drop before the year ends. We got some incredible features. Shout out to my city. Shout out to New Orleans. Everybody going crazy right now. Yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I'm so excited for everybody to hear this new music. I love my fans like my family, so it means a lot to me sharing this.
Any last words?
Man, Hard on Wax is out right now. You're the Problem, my official album that I dropped last year featuring Youngboy, NBA, and A Boogie with the Hoodie is out right now. But we're working on 2 more projects for 2024. But make sure y'all go get Hard on Wax. It's out right now. It's a really special project to me. 5 records. Y'all gonna love it, man. Y'all gonna feel it. And Yeah, shout out Rock Nation, shout out NBA, the movement, man. You know what's going on.
You mentioned 2 new projects.
Mm.
Do you want to share any titles?
I can't disclose none of that information, and not even on no bougie shit. But it's a work in progress. But it's coming though. It's definitely coming. No Diddy. I wanted to drop so much music this year, and we've been doing that. Like I said, I did 2 independent projects, maybe Dior, and Picasso's Bad Side out on all free platforms. And now we about to drop this EP on top of another 2. So I'm working, man. I'm happy.